It's interesting because I'm wondering. I've known this for years because I've sat in front of physicians trying to have conversations around telehealth, and I literally had physicians said over my dead body, and people think, oh, that can't be true, but those are difficult conversations. You're asking them to change their practice. There was financial
Right.
challenges to doing that, and quite frankly, a digital workflow requires a little different, not only technology, but a different
Right.
underlying infrastructure to make that happen. And so I see that. I understand what you're saying, that they were forced to. So health systems were forced to put that underlying infrastructure. They were forced to put the technology in, and that really drove it. So if financial systems stay in place and those things are in place, what's going to cause it to come back?
Yeah. So a couple of things happened. In some cases, people were being seen virtually because that was the only available option, but not the best option. So let's just say for the case of, it would be great if I could examine you, get your vital signs, listen to your heart, or maybe I could obtain a lab specimen or a culture or something like that. But if that's just too hard to do or not safe, then I'm going to make my best guess based on history and maybe point the camera at whatever you're complaining about. Let me try to guess. And we see some percentage of that rolling back because it was good enough in the absence of no good alternative, but not ideal. And that is an interesting area for future opportunity, because if people figure out how to do some things virtually that they haven't done before, you can maybe close the gap of the ability to examine someone without them being in front of you. I think that I want to go back though, and Bill, you made the point about how hard it was to get doctors to adopt. We actually saw health systems using the same approach they used for the adoption of the electronic health record. With that level of personal support around the first days of use, literally, where do I put my mouse? What do I click? How do I turn it on? They had to take that approach. But once the doctors got through the learning curve, just as with electronic health records, they started to see some of the benefits of it. And so we think that once they realize they could use it, they're going to see some convenience aspects to it. So in some practices, people are going to go, wait a second, now that I know how, and I've gone through the pain of learning how to use it, this is actually an easier way for me to organize my day.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. We found that the forced adoption, both for clinicians and consumers, after they tried it, many of them were, hey, this actually has a use. This wasn't that bad. And now it's figuring out how do we actually integrate it as part of care models in the future.